What's your word? What's your one word? Have you been hearing that a lot? Have people been saying, hey, my word for the year is this, or my word for the year is that, or you should get a word for the year, or so on and so forth? Have you been hearing that? And maybe you have. You've heard it from some other influencers, or you've heard it from your friends or in passing. But maybe you thought to yourself, hey, I'd like to get my word, but maybe there hasn't been any real steps brought out to you or provided to you on how you can find the word that's right for you. And so that's what this video is going to be about. In this video, I'm going to share with you why it's so important to have a word or select a word for the year, and the 3 simple steps that you can take, or really the questions that you should be asking yourself, that are really going to help you get down deep and find the word that's right for you. Hi, my name is Matt Aponte, Master Certified Real Leadership Coach and High Performance Success Coach. And in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the one word, or your one word. And I'm going to explain why it's so important, and what are the 3 questions you could be asking yourself to help you really dig deep and find the word that's going to really help you stay focused this year. As you can see on the board, my word for the year is focus. I kind of had a word last year, and it helped out because it was something that I repeated many times throughout the year. But to be honest with you, I just picked what felt right to me last year. I didn't really go through a process or a step to really solidify what my word was, why it's that word, and why it'll be beneficial to me. And so I did that this year. Now, I can't take credit for figuring out the word or whatever. About 2 years ago, a friend of mine, Brittany, who's also a self-improvement coach, was talking about her word, and I forget what her word was, but she was like, oh yeah, you should read this book by Your One Word by Evan Carmichael. And so I got the book a long time ago on Audible, and I kind of glazed through it. I didn't really finish it, to be honest with you. But the end of this 2019 again, we started talking about it again, right? Because you start getting to the end of the year. You start reflecting on your prior year and what you want to accomplish in the next word. And so the conversation about your one word came up again. And so as I was searching through Audible to get the book again, I also came across another book by John Gordon, which I feel is a much more condensed version of the your one word process, and it's called One Word That Will Change Your Life. And so you have 2 options there. If you kind of want to do, it's like an hour and 10 minutes, I think, the one by John Gordon, and it kind of goes through why selecting a word is so important, what kind of success you could see through it if you stick to it, and then it gives you the steps on what you should take. And what I'm going to share with you today is what I learned from that book. I'm mostly through the book by Evan Carmichael on Audible. I haven't finished it yet, but that one goes even so much deeper into not only the word, but how it affects your brand and your company and your business and so on and so forth. So if you kind of want to jump into the meat and potatoes, you can get the book by John Gordon. And then when you really want to take a deep dive and really dive deeper into it, then I suggest downloading the book by Evan Carmichael, Your One Word. But it's really simple. And so in this video, my intent is that when you're done watching this video, you're going to be able to select your word. You're going to have everything that you need, so that way you can select your word today or tomorrow and start living your word daily, which is going to set you on the path to success for the rest of your year. So first of all, there needs to be a why behind your word, right? So you need to really think about, number 1, why you want to choose a word. And then when you first start thinking about your word, you're going to, at the end of this process that I'm going to share with you, you're going to want to ask yourself, well, what is my why then? Because you're going to have to develop a why, right? In any type of goal setting or anything that you do, there always has to be a why, a purpose, because that's what's going to drive you to stick to it, right? And so for me, that's why I chose the word focus, because this year I have so many opportunities open to me because last year was such an amazing year. However, I have learned from my own experience of being a entrepreneur owning 12 different businesses in my life since the age of 16, and the past 10 decades really putting rubber to the pavement in my entrepreneurial life. I know that as an entrepreneur, you see so many different opportunities, and you're like, oh, I could do this or I could do that, and well, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and I'm going to make a lot of money. But if you focus in on one thing, you can become so much more successful, really, and you actually accomplish a lot more. So this year, because I have very finite and specific goals to accomplish at the end of the year, my word is focus. And so how you can choose your word is, first, you really have to prepare your mind. Some of this to some of you might sound a little woo-woo or whatever, but I just want you to kind of go through, bear with me here and go through the process. You have to prepare your mind and your body and your spirit and your energy to really receive your word. And I'm not talking like some kind of like God coming down to you and giving you your word or anything. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about quieting the space in your mind, what's going on, all of the distractions. I'm talking about taking some time by yourself. So this is really step number one, which is what you have to do. You got to prepare. Before you can ask yourself the 3 questions, you have to prepare. So, you might be a parent and you might have a house full of craziness going on, but it's really, really important that if it's just for 30 minutes or even 15 minutes, you find a quiet space. If you got to lock yourself in your basement for a minute and make pretend that nobody can find you for a while, then do that. But take the time, quiet all the voices in your mind, and maybe do some breathing. If you do any kind of meditation, get yourself in a meditative state. If you don't believe in meditation, then fine. Just kind of relax, right? Do some breathing exercises and just kind of quiet your mind, okay? Prepare your mind so that way all of the noise starts to settle, okay? Because this is going to be about you, and so you're going to have to dive internally to prepare yourself to really answer the questions that you're going to ask truthfully, right? It can't be about your external circumstances. It can't be about somebody else. It has to be about you. See, this is all about self-development, self-improvement, right? And that's what the one word is about. What is it that you're going to accomplish? Now, you can set goals and you can set a word for yourself that's going to allow you to accomplish something that's going to better improve your family, friends, business, the world, right? You can do that, but it still has to start with you from within. So the first thing you need to do is you need to just find a place. You have to prepare. Quiet in your mind. If you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning before everybody wakes up and gets rowdy, then do that with your cup of coffee. That's what I like to do. And just like really just ponder, right? And you want to ask yourself, what's important to me this year? What is my word going to be? Start getting those words and that kind of self-speak circling around in your mind, okay? And so once you feel like you're there, you're ready, I hope you had a pen and paper ready. And if not, get yourself a pen and paper. You're going to write down 3 questions. And you're going to answer them. I'm going to write them on the board for you. So the first question is, what do I need and what needs to change? So first of all, you need to ask yourself, what do I need and what needs to change? Okay? Now, this is really important, asking yourself what you need. You understand here that we're not saying, what do you want, right? We're not saying, well, I want $1 million or I want a house or a Ferrari or, whatever it is, because that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about your needs, okay? And only you can answer this question. And that's why you have to kind of quiet all the noise in your brain so this way really you can answer these questions. So what do I need, okay? So what do I need? What is it that you need? When you think about last year and you think about what you want to change or what you want to accomplish this year, maybe it's something different than last year, or maybe it's another building block on what you accomplished last year. It could be a host number of things that have to deal with your health, your wealth, your love, and your relationships, right? The four core of everybody's being. And so you want to ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need? Right? So this is a part of like self-care. What do I need? So think about that. And then when you think about that, what needs to change? So it's kind of two questions in one, but this is the first step. So what needs to change? And so think about yourself, well, if I also needed this last year and I didn't accomplish it, well, then what needs to change this year in order for me to accomplish it? And the second question is going to really help you filter through what needs to change. And that second question is, let me just check my notes again. What's in my way of achieving what I need? Okay, so what's in my way of achieving what I need? Okay, so we'll put little question marks there. So what's in my way of achieving what I need? Okay, so what do I need and what needs to change? And then what's in my way of achieving what I need? So when you figure out what needs to change, then you're going to start to get some clarity on the second question, right? Okay, well, if that needs to change, then that's also in my way. That's going to, you see how this works? You're going to figure out what's in your way of achieving what you need. So you see how they play together here, right? And again, I got this from the book from John Carmichael, One Word That'll Change Your Life Forever. I'm not taking credit for this. This is what really helped me zero in on my word, and so I just want to turn around and show it to you. The 10 steps process, right? Learn something from someone 10 steps ahead of you, turn around, teach it to someone that's 10 steps behind you if it benefited you. And so that's what I'm doing. So that's the second question. Now, the third question is, what needs to go in order to make progress? So let's write that up on the board. So what needs to go in order to make progress? Because it's all about this word here, right? That is what it's all about. It's progress. If we're not making progress in our financial status, in our relationships, in our life, in our love life, in our health, in our social circles, if we're not making progress, then what are we doing? Because if we're not making progress in any of those areas, then chances are we're not making progress internally. And if this is the first video you've ever watched of mine, you know that it is my goal and my passion as a high-performance success coach to help you become your best version self. And so in order to become our best version self, right, we have to dig really deep, and we got to do some weeding. We got to pull out some old stuff and be like, oh my God, you know, like I definitely need to work on this to be a better person, maybe to be a better husband. I had to do this last year. I had to figure out what I needed to be or to do to be a better husband, which is part of the reason why I gave up social media altogether last year and I didn't continue my brand, because I really needed to zero in on me and making me even better than I thought I was. Which turned to find out I wasn't as good as I thought I was. So anyway, it's all about progress. And so what needs to go in order to make it? What do you need to do? What do you need to start cutting out of your life? Maybe it's food. Maybe it's, people, friends. Maybe it's family, right? Like your network is your net worth. There's a podcast that I would love for you to listen to. It's called Zip Code Destiny, and it's on NPR. And it's called I'll put what it is up here. Listen to it, because what it talks about is how a person's ability to success and achieve success in their life and kind of move up the social ladder is directly correlated to your environment. Not only your home environment, but even the neighborhood that you live, the town that you live, the schools that you go to. And so maybe that needs to go. Maybe you need to cut some toxic people out of your life. Maybe that's what it is. But I caution you on not getting so crazy, right? And just being like, well, you're going. Oh, you said something, you're going too, because that's not healthy, right? And you might end up burning some bridges or hurting some relationships that were of value to you. So practice that with caution. But also, what are the habits that maybe need to go, right? Do you sleep in a little too long? Do you get to bed a little too late? Do you not make time every day, even just 5 minutes for a little bit of exercise, a little bit of, working out, pushing up? Maybe it's just 10 minutes. Maybe it's just like, sometimes I get so busy and even so lazy, if I'm being honest, I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do 10 push-ups, just 10. It'll literally take 15 seconds and then I'm done with it. And I just get down, I do it. Next thing I know, I've done 30, 40 push-ups and I'm like, I feel so much better. But it's just making things happen. So what is it in your life? So first of all, what do I need? What needs to change, right? So what needs to change? What's in my way? What needs to go in order for me to make progress? Because that's what this word is all about. And whenever you figure out your word, you're gonna use it as kind of like a system, a checks and balances system, right? So if you're gonna buy a new car, and so if I was to buy a new car, and then my word is focus, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna be like, does buying this new car allow me to be focused on X? And then if I'm being honest right now, the car that I would like to buy this year, the answer would be no. It wouldn't, because I love working on cars and I'm a gearhead. And if I buy that car, then all I'm going to want to do is spend time souping it up and working on it, which is going to divert my focus away from what it is I want to achieve. So, hey, I just made a decision. No brand new cars this year. So, that's how you want to filter it. So maybe you have a new friend or a new group that you're doing or things that you're doing. For me, I'm going to have to ask, is this going to allow me to focus? This new business opportunity that's going to be presented to me, is this going to allow me to focus, or is it just a distraction? And so you're going to essentially check everything up against that, up against your word, right? So it's going to be a sense of checks and balances. And so you might want to, if you ever come across, which hopefully you do if you're always moving forward, maybe you're offered a position at another company, or you're offered, a position to as a management position, or a raise that comes with more responsibility. Well, you need to sit down. Well, my word is this. Draw a line down the middle. Does it allow me to, on one side you have yes, and one side it has no. And does it allow me to do this? Yes, no, right? It's a checks and balances system. And so, and also the other thing that you really want to do, see, I have it up on the board here. I moved it down a little bit. I have a big board. I usually have it up here, but I want it there so you can see it in the camera. You want to have that word everywhere. Okay, so like on the screensaver of your phone, on the screensaver of your computer, write it down. Like in my bathroom, I have a sticky note that says "focus" on it, right? And write it on, put it on your refrigerator, put it on the dashboard of your car. I don't know if you're as old as I am, but I remember back in the day, like when you had like a hot girl or whatever, so my girl, and you had put her picture on the dash and the speedometer there, right? Well, get rid of that. Put your word there, okay? And you want to have it everywhere. You want to see it. Even if after a few weeks you don't see it anymore consciously, subconsciously, your subconscious mind is recording that. You're constantly plugging into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is allowing you to focus on that. For me, focus. For you, whatever it is. And so then your subconscious is going to allow to start helping you live that word. And that's the last step. The last step is start living your word. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. My word is this. Put it on social media, right? Maybe find an accountability partner and go through this process together and say, hey, what's your word? Cool, that's my word. I'm going to help you stick to your word, and you help me stick to my word, right? Okay, great. I think you get it. That's really all you have to do. This whole process. Another question you want to ask yourself is, where do you want to be and where are you now, right? You want to kind of bridge that gap, and that could help you kind of go through that again. And I'll repeat that. So where is it that you want to be, and where are you right now, right? So that's another powerful process with goal setting that's going to allow you to kind of bridge the gap. If I need to get there and I need to get there, it's like a map. Draw it through. Well, I have to go through, like Kentucky, and I got to take the Route 66 and all this other stuff in order to get there. And that's how you goal set, okay? So I hope you found a lot of value in this video. I wanted to kind of keep this short enough and to the point, so this way you can gain value from it. If you learned from this, and if you found this enlightening, please share this with someone who you think will benefit from it, right? That's the power of reciprocity. Not only is it good for you and good for the soul and the spirit, but it's also good that you learn something and you don't hoard it. You share it with someone else, right? I call it the 10 steps rule. And so please like, subscribe, comment below, give it a thumbs up. If you have a different process for selecting your one word, please put it down there, share it with me, and other people can comment on yours and just get the conversation going. Also, I have a podcast. Subscribe to my podcast, because for the first 10 episodes of the year, which is an episode every week of my podcast, I'm going to take you by the hand, step by step, and I am going to help you. I'm going to give you the tools. Obviously, you have to do the work. I'm going to give you the tools and the steps on how to dominate your year and make this year the best year ever. And all of this is proven on science. This is proven on experience. And this is proven on me doing this stuff myself over the past 5-10 years. I would never share anything with you that I don't do myself. So thank you once again. My name is Matt Aponte, Master Certified Real Leadership Coach and High Performance Success Coach. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.